Hey everybody, this is Chuck Cook, our managing partner here at Cook Baxter. It's wonderful to be with you today. It is a glorious day here in Georgia. And as we celebrate and commemorate September 11th, we remember those heroes who died to save others and those who sacrificed their lives to a terrorist attack on 9/11. They will never be forgotten. Many of whom were immigrants who worked in the World Trade Center towers. Let's talk about immigration a little bit today. Obviously, the big topic of the day is the Biden Family Unity Program. And I spent a good deal of time a couple weeks ago and last week talking about who should apply and when they should apply for the program. It came to my attention a couple of days ago, a troubling video that somebody put on the TikTok machine that said there was a deadline to apply for parole in place under the Biden Family Unity Parole Program. That is not true. That is a lie. I don't know why this lawyer decided to say that. Maybe to gin up business. I don't know. There is no deadline to apply for the Biden Family Unity Parole Program. Perhaps the lawyers just didn't do very good in law school. I don't know, but that's what she said. Now, at the end of the day, this program may end because a court orders it or because it expires or because the president changes. But there is no deadline to apply at this point. So let's talk about where we are with the program. People continue to apply. Tens of thousands of applications have been filed. Immigration received instruction from the judge we had a week ago that said, continue to adjudicate the cases, continue to accept cases, continue to ask for additional information, continue to deny cases because people are being denied. But what you cannot do is issue an approval notice. You can even maintain a list of people who you're going to approve if I rule in your favor. So keep doing what you're doing. So that doesn't change the advice that I gave previously, which is who should apply for the program and when. So right now, we know that the judge has a hearing next Thursday, a week from today. There's a hearing in his court on the case, basically a summary judgment hearing. The stay is in place for another 6 days after that until 2 weeks from yesterday. That stay basically just says, again, you can't approve cases. I anticipate that the judge will likely issue a decision on Friday, the 19th, or Monday or Tuesday, the 22nd or 23rd. I think, based on my analysis of the case and my experience working in federal courts, the judge will find that Texas has no standing in this case, based on the documents I've read so far, unless they come up with some crazy new standing argument. I don't see them getting over that hurdle. But if they did, I don't see the judge finding that Biden didn't have the legal authority to create this program under his parole authority, under the Immigration Nationality Act, Section 212D5. He clearly has that because this is being done on a case-by-case basis, just like DACA, just like military parole in place, which is an identical program except for the specific beneficiaries, okay? That is parents and spouses of people serving in the military. Same law, same process, same types of documentation. In fact, Family Unity is actually a harder program because you have to get 10 years of presence in the United States. And you have to basically try to convince them why you should do it. Whereas, why should they approve it? Whereas military parole in place is not automatic, but it's pretty close. Now, that's for people who have one entry. People that have multiple entries to the United States, my advice continues. I don't think you should file this until after the election. I really don't. Because you're not getting what if you have multiple entries and you do parole in place, and you're approved, you will get a work permit. You can apply for a work permit for 3 years. But that's it. You're not getting anything more, and you're giving the government your information in exchange for a 3-year work permit. I don't think it's wise to do that if Trump is going to be president in 4 months. 4 months and 10 days. I mean, Trump would get sworn in on January 21st. I think that's the day, 2025. So 4 months will make no difference to you if you've already been here for a decade. Wait until after the election. If Trump loses on November 6th, file your parole in place program. You're golden. All right? You'll be fine. If he loses, you've lost nothing. Now, of course, you can file now. You can file now, but just understand there's a certain level of risk. Is it a high risk? I don't think so, but there's a certain level of risk that goes with it. So that's how I take on this. And again, the program has lots of limitations we've talked about previously. If you have a felony conviction, you're basically ineligible. I mean, you can apply, but you're basically ineligible. If you have DUI in the last 10 years, you're probably going to get denied. They're going to be very strict with the DUI stuff. It's just like they are with DACA. I mean, DACA, you're not getting DACA with the DUI. You're just not. So well, I know somebody. Blind squirrels find nuts, but the reality is on a regular basis, you're not going to be approved for that. And at the end of the day, this Parole in Place program, I understand over 1,000 have been approved. Immigration has not released the official numbers yet. I'm kind of surprised by that, actually. Hopefully in one of their upcoming filings, they will give some update on this, on their numbers. But the reality is people's lives have already been changed by the program. And but what's going to happen? Here's my future projection. I think the judge is going to say it's fine, and they can approve it. The state of Texas is going to immediately go to the Court of Appeals in the Fifth Circuit, a notoriously anti-Biden court, and ask for an immediate stay. My guess is they will get a stay. Is my guess. They'll get a stay. And then Biden will have to go to the Supreme Court to undo that stay, which I also think they'll get. But we're talking now, this is going to take months at this point. So gather your documents, get your 10 years of information, write your letter about why you deserve discretion, gather your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, your spouse's birth certificate, and get ready to file. And of course, we're here to help you, but we're always here to tell you the truth as well, because the truth shall set you free. Let's talk about DACA for a second. Let me find my DACA program here. I'm going to find my DACA tab. DACA. I got a DACA. Well, we'll do DACA and EB-3. I'm going to do both at the same time. So what's the future? Somebody asked me today. I was on a podcast for a friend of mine. Mo Goldman has a great podcast called Immigration Ain't Easy. It's not. And he invited Jody Goodwin and I, a good friend, to talk about a little bit about who we are and what we do and about the future. And so it was a really interesting, delightful conversation. But he asked me this question: what's the future of the DACA program? Here's what we know. It is at the Fifth Circuit. There is oral arguments set, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The Fifth Circuit's going to find that it's not legal. I mean, this is just performance. This is kabuki theater. And if you don't know what kabuki theater is, you should go look it up. It's kabuki political theater. The key issue is Supreme Court. The first time this gets to SCOTUS is the 2026 Supreme Court term, which means we probably won't have a final decision. This is, by the way, if Harris is elected. Because if Trump is elected, he will publish new regulations ending DACA, and he will do it correctly this time, unlike the idiots that did it before, and DACA will be over. I'm presuming that and hoping that Harris wins, and we're at the Supreme Court in the fall of 2026, with a decision not likely until the spring of 2027. So those with DACA, I think, will have DACA, absent Trump winning, for the next 3 years. And again, DACA has been a spectacular success. An unmitigated celebration of immigrants and of what's right with America, doing the right thing. Now, it's a terrible thing to renew it every 2 years. I mean, it's taunting, it's awful, but it has changed 500,000 lives for those who have taken DACA, traveled, and married citizens, gotten green cards, or kids are 21. Every day, dozens and dozens and dozens of DACA recipients get green cards through their family, spouse, children over 21, or through EB-3. Remember, anybody with a DACA who got DACA before they were 18 and a half can do an EB-3 green card through their employer. Again, doesn't matter the job you do. It's got to be a job we can prove there's no qualified workers for and that you are qualified. But it shouldn't be a job where it's the only job you've ever worked and it's the only experience you have, because then you can't use that experience with the employer under the labor certification process. But we do, doing a number of EB-3s for DACA recipients. It's a great thing. And that actually gets to kind of the EB-3 part of what I want to talk about, because the visa bulletin just came out for October 2024. I'm going to pull it up here. The visa bulletin for October 2024 is really interesting in the employment-based context, and I want to show folks this. I'm going to share my screen here a little bit, if I can figure out how to do this. Share my screen. I can pull the right screen up, and I'm going to pull up. This is the screen for the visa bulletin for final action dates. Now, keep in mind, October is the first day of the fiscal year, October 1. So this is a whole new set of 40,000 EB-3s, 40,000 EB-2s, 40,000 EB-1s, 10,000 EB-5s, 10,000 EB-4s. And unlike last year, in which almost everything was current except for EB-3 other workers and EB-3s, now we're looking at this. EB-3s, if you can see that, are now backlogged to December 1, 2021 in the new fiscal year. So basically, if you file a labor cert today, and before you file a labor cert, you have about almost a year's worth of work, you're not going to get a green card for about 3.5 to 4 years. And I wrote a blog on this several months ago. I guess it was a year ago, about the apocalypse on these numbers. That this is called rest of world. These numbers are disastrous for the rest of the world, which means they're even worse for people from India and China. And so if you're going to do EB-3, you should have done it when I first started talking about it. 10 years ago. You already have your green card, of course. But you're starting now. You're behind the 8 ball, but you still can get. There's still time while DACA exists. If Supreme Court truly strikes it down in 2027, I don't think they will, but if they did, you still have time to do an EB-3. But you need to start now. For those folks on EB-2s, just look at that final action date. EB-2s used to be current. It's the first year it's ever been backlogged on October 1st. Really far backlogged. I mean, it's about a 2-year backlog here, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse over time. So that is our I wanted to show you the visa bulletin and DACA EB-3. Now, some folks have asked me about, and I've talked previously about the DACA and the 212D3 waiver program. Many people do ask about that here. Personally, I think the program's a joke, personally, but there are some people that will benefit from it, but you have to understand the limitations of the 212D3 waiver. You only need a 212D3 waiver in the eyes of the government is if you got DACA after you're 18 and a half. You don't need a 212D3 waiver if you got DACA before you're 18 and a half. But what is a 212D3 waiver? That is a non-immigrant temporary waiver. It's not a permanent waiver. And why do you need a waiver? Well, again, the government says, the Department of State says, immigration doesn't say this, the Department of State says, if you leave the country to consular process after you have more than a year of unlawful presence, then you have a 10-year bar. Now, the USCIS and the Board of Immigration Appeals say that's not true if you leave on advance parole. But the Department of State's refusing to recognize that decision. So they say we will expedite getting you a waiver, which can usually take 9 months. So you can go down, set the appointment, get interviewed, get the waiver in 30 days or less, and come back, which is great because now you're back in the U.S. You have an H-1B, you're not a DACA anymore. You don't have to worry about applying every 2 years. But an H-1B, first of all, you got to get picked in the H-1B lottery. If it's an H-1B you're on, there are E-2s you can be on, but generally it's the H-1B. 2, the H-1B is only good for 3 years with 1 3-year extension. Now there are other extensions if you start the EB-3 process. It takes longer to get a green card, and with the delays in EB-3, you might and you still have it. So when you come back in, you still have the 10-year bar. They just let you come in and serve your time here. Well, if you only have a 6-year visa and you have a 10-year bar. I mean, I didn't go to math school, but I can tell you that's a 4-year problem. What do you do when you're out of H-1B time? I'm just saying it's stupid, the Department of State, and really, in my opinion, evil that the Department of State doesn't accept the interpretation of the Board of Immigration Appeals and the USCIS that traveling on advance parole does not activate the 10-year bar. Just saying, my personal opinion, I think it's stupid and bad on you, Department of State, for doing this. Really, Biden, you should do better than this. So that's the DACA 212D3 program. And that's not going to. I mean, Trump could take it away, but I don't. I mean, again, anybody watched the debate last night? You tell me who's going to win the election. I don't know, but I'm just saying I'm not sure Trump's going to win. But these are the things you need to be focused on, right? So if you have DACA and you have a child turning 21, make sure you do advanced parole. And you might turn 21 in 10 years. If you have that advanced parole in 10 years, you're going to get a green card. You just are. You don't have to have DACA. You just have that legal entry. If you fall in love with a U.S. citizen, you have advanced parole. So if for anybody who hasn't traveled on DACA and gotten advanced parole, honestly, shame on you. What are you waiting for? Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, stop being scared. Stop it. This is a no fear day. It's a no fear operation. Go to my friends at Dreamers Together on Facebook. Read the thousands of stories. Thousands. People have traveled with removal orders. There's no fear. It's a simple, easy process. Just do it. All right, let's take a look here at, again, if you want to reach me, Tony said, put your phone number here. Here's my phone number right there. But you can also reach us, at 404-816-8611. That's the best way to reach us. You can also email me, ccook@immigration.net. You can also find me on the Twitter machine. And you can always go to our website. Our website has a chat feature, set up appointments on our website. It's over 1,000 pages of information on our website. So it's a good place to go for more information. So let's go up here and look at some questions here. Turney, did you watch the debate? Yes, I did watch the debate. My wife said, turn it off, man, it's awful. He's terrible. I watched the debate. I especially loved Trump's new immigration program, which is to deport everybody and throw America into a recession. That's Trump's immigration program in a nutshell. If you notice, Harris didn't talk. She has no immigration program. She literally did not address the issue, which helps her, honestly, because she could do better. Ingres, hola, Dios te bendiga, te da mucho sabiduría para ayudar a mi raza hispana. She says, may God bless you and give you much wisdom so you can help my Latina race. And says, thank you. Somebody once said, Chuck, you're not Latino on the outside, but you may be on the inside. Save the cats and dogs. That's very funny, actually. The whole cats and dogs, and it's raining cats and dogs and Bibles, and it's just they're eating everything, even though they live next door to a supermarket. Yeah, honestly, the only person I've seen eat a dog recently is Robert Kennedy. So take that for what you will. Who's he supporting? Andres Juarez, good afternoon. In case that parole place is full stop by the judge, move the case to D.C. to appeal. No, it's case is not in Louisiana. It's in Texas. Case is in Texas. It's not in Louisiana. But no, it can't be moved. And the government actually has thought about changing venue to D.C., but the venue would actually be in Maryland because the USCIS is not in D.C. The USCIS is headquartered in Maryland, and honestly, you get what you get. A lot of Trump judges out there, but honestly, I think that I have faith that this guy is honest. He's smart. He's going to follow the law, and he'd have to bend over backwards and stick a needle in his brain to rule for the state of Texas here. But, I've been wrong before. Noble MP. Noble, how are you? Let's see here. Can I withdraw my marriage? 45 filed under with parole. 240D issued by ICE at the border refiled with parole here in place. Why? You can, but why would you? Why? I don't understand why you do that. I mean, first of all, if you were paroled into the country under D5, that's parole. I mean, immigration has been clear about that. You don't need to do parole in place. Plus, parole in place takes a year. You don't file a new 45. You do parole in place first. Parole in place takes 6 to 12 months. Then you file the 45. You're good. Leave it alone. What is happening in the Department of State? They waste family-based green card last year. They're not moving dates or scheduling persons for interviews. October. Yeah, it's very disappointing. And the Department of State is a disaster. Anthony Blinken has spent, there is an undersecretary for visa services. She's done a terrible job. Really, a terrible job. And I'm really disappointed for the folks that were trying to get lottery cases that haven't been approved. That's truly sad. Hopefully they'll use all the lottery cases this year. Who knows if they will? I assume they will. But who knows? Department of State is the biggest disappointment of the Biden administration. They're the ones that appealed the diversity lottery case. It's the Department of State. These guys are, if I was president, I might pull a Trump and fire everybody. I'm just saying. Word of the day, guys, says hello. We've got Ronald. Ronald says, si me prueba el PIP, puedo aplicar directamente por la green card, se tarda mucho. So he asks, if I get parole in place approved, can I apply for a green card? Sí, inmediatamente. Y, típicamente arreglo por justo es como 4 a 10 meses. So because if you put parole in place, you have two options. You can apply for a work permit for these people that only have one entry. You can apply for a work permit. Those are going to take 4 to 6 months. Or you can apply for a green card if you're married to a citizen, which is the only reason you got parole in place. Those take 4 to 8 months. And they come with a work permit if you want it. So obviously, get the PIP, immediately apply for the green card. It's not that hard. Frank, if you have an approved I-130, but it's not with the MVC, it's with the MVC, not the MVC, you need to refile a request for approval. Oh, no. What you do is you file your adjustment of status with a copy of the I-130, and you go to the MVC and you tell them that you're going to be adjusting. You have to pay them a fee, but you're going to be adjusting status. It's pretty easy. I've done it 100 times. How long are DACA renewals taking? Well, that is a great question. That you can answer that question yourself by going to the handy dandy USCIS website. And you go to the website and you click processing times, and you click then on the I-821. I'm sorry, the H21D. Go to the right one here. H21D, and you just pick renewal, and it says at the Nebraska Service Center they are taking 4 months to process renewals. And at the Vermont Service Center, they're taking C notes, which is not good because they don't really do them. So it's 4 months. And that's about what we're seeing. Some have been longer, some have been less. Look, immigration is like driving home at night. You leave your office and you're going to pass through 5 traffic lights. One night, the lights are all red, every single one of them. What are the chances? The next night, they're all green. What are the chances? That's the Immigration Service. They might be all red. They might be all green. Who knows? Who knows why? Several TikTok lawyers are saying there's a deadline. That is a lie. That's not only not true, that's an outright lie. So if they want to lie to I know why anybody would trust a lawyer who would lie to them. I don't know. But what they clearly try to be doing is to generate business quickly rather than tell people the truth. So you're welcome to post this on TikTok, but there is no deadline to apply for parole in place. And any lawyer who tells you otherwise is either lying or they're uneducated. In either event, you shouldn't use their services. All right. For notario used to say, notarios are notario. You should never trust a notario. In most states of the country, it's illegal. They are literally they're committing a felony. Practicing law without a license is a felony in almost every state. You can't. It's not filling out forms. Because as immigration said a long time ago, the selection of the form is the practice of law. Okay, no hay Arias. No hay abogado. Buen día, mi hija solicitó DACA, pero quedó congelada su caso. O residente, podemos reclamar el pago. No, esa es tu contribución a la deuda de los Estados Unidos. He asked a great question. His daughter back in 2021 applied for DACA, but it got frozen by the courts. But she's a resident now. Can she apply to get her money back? Immigration doesn't give money back. No, they don't. No, it's her contribution to the debt of the United States. Frank, if you have an approved I-130, but it's with NBC, not with you, do we need a free file? I already answered that question. No entiendo muy bien lo que es EB-3. EB-3, Vanessa. EB-3 is an employment-based immigrant visa. Es una visa por empleo. Su empleador te puede pedir por la residencia en la categoría EB-3. Tengo varios videos de esto. Búscalo en mi sitio de web. So what is the best option for DACA? Fastest, EB-3 or NIW? Well, if you have a master's degree and your work would be in the national interest, then NIW, which is EB-2, is faster right now. There's less of a waiting line. So if you can do that, absolutely do it. Absolutely do EB-2. We do, if you send me your CV, we'll do a free look at your CV. You can email it to me. And tell you whether we think you qualify for a master's degree and a national interest way. We've done thousands of them over the last 35 years. Ahora, si gana Kamala, ¿cree que habrá posibilidad que el permiso de trabajo por lo hagan renovable? She's asking if Harris wins, do you think they'll renew the parole in place? I don't think they'll renew the parole in place. I think it's a one-time thing. So, no creo que van a renovarlo. Creo que es una vez. Joaquin, great as always. I have 618 waiver approved. Should I continue with parole in place? Wait for the brother. Joaquin, everybody's case is different. But if you came in, basically alone, you didn't come with anybody other than a coyote, and you have no criminal convictions, you don't have any tattoos, there's essentially zero risk on your consular processing. But if you've got any of those things, do the parole in place. Okay. And really, right now, I don't know how long you've been waiting for an interview, but Juarez is 8 to 12 months for interviews. You've got probably enough time to see if parole in place comes back and does that. And you lose nothing other than the filing fee. All right. Okay. That wasn't the October, that was September. No, I looked at the September. I looked at the October views of the bulletin. No, I showed you October. I showed you the October date. You may have been looking at the dates for filing. But I'm looking at the October. I'm looking at right now, the visa bulletin for October 2020. Oh, I'm an idiot. I looked at October 2023. Hold on, for visa bulletin. Hold on. Chuck, what are you doing? You're crazy, man. Let's take a look at this. We'll go in and share my screen here. We'll look at this bulletin. We'll give me a do-over here. Here is the numbers for the EB. Again, we got EB-2 is 2023. EB-3 was better news for those who want to do DACA and EB-3. November 2022, right there. That's a good date. It's about 2-year waiting time. Still going to take you 2 to 3 years to get your EB-3. For your EB-2, a great opportunity to get that done quickly. All right, those are the final action dates. Dates for filing are much faster, but still the dates for approval are really the important ones. Thank you, RK, for catching that error on my part. I'm never one to say I don't make errors. I'm not Donald Trump. I do admit my mistakes. Do you think Trump eventually is good to go? I do. As I said earlier, I think we grant it. I think almost everybody who applies is going to be approved because it's self-selecting, right? You're not going to apply if you're going to be approved. So almost everybody's going to be approved. Val, my dad's going through consular processing about 4 years, 11,000 to get to the perdón. And Russo he's waiting for interview in Juarez. This one canceled, but for how long? And I think of submitting his parole in place. It's less risk. It's in limbo. He should just do the interview. I mean, if he's got no tattoos, he came in alone, he's got no criminal convictions, he's going to be fine. Again, every case, don't take that legal advice. He should talk to his lawyer to verify that. But on the upside, if he just got it approved, it's another 8 to 10 months, 12 months for an interview. Do the parole in place. You have nothing to lose. Mariela Pulido, what is the fast way for DACA to green card EB-3? NIW is faster. Anyway, you asked this question like 3 times. You only ever have to ask once. Is there any way not to do consular processing EB-3? No. The only way DACA recipients can adjust is through an immediate relative, spouse, child over 21. DACA recipients always have to consular process otherwise. Crystal Corona. Hola, abogado. My husband and I, shoplifting case, had a tree, different name, also violated probation. That case is closed. When I be arrested, you should apply for PAP. This is one of those cases where you have to disclose that, and it's there has to be a heavy reason to grant the case to outweigh a long ago conviction, and it'd probably be denied. Whereas if you consular processed, he'd be perfectly fine. It's just that they're trying to be very conservative here. Elizabeth Maita, let's see what we got here. Elizabeth, in my case, I'd just closed or wait to reopen 5 years. I was advised, No, Elizabeth, if your case is probably terminated, you need to go onto the MVC website, ceac.gov, and see what the status of the case is. It's probably not even there. I mean, they probably just terminated it, which means you have to start over again. I have VD in 2011, never left, married a U.S. citizen in 2017, have DACA in 2013. What idiot told you can't get advanced parole? Because they're an idiot. You can tell them I said that. It's okay. You can absolutely 100% get advanced parole. Travel, come back in. Now, can you get a motion to reopen? If you're an adult when you took VD, probably not. If you're a child, maybe. But you can also just file a 212D3 waiver and go that way. Okay. Word of that guy. What is the typical approval time for an I-130 for a spouse? Right now, it's like 12 months, more or less. Although I saw some recently like 15 months. They're not exactly on top of stuff. Aquatic Paradise. The I-131F received by every notice of being not sent out. They should wait. They'll be sent out. They'll send them out. Just wait. Patience, young grasshopper. Hello. Can a U visa applicant with bona fide determination, EAD, apply for advanced parole? No, you cannot. There's no category for advanced parole for U visa holders. For U visa BFDs. It doesn't exist. Solo el permiso de trabajo por 3 años, el parole en place, sabemos, es solo un mes. Yeah, we got that. Frank, we did biometrics yesterday, got arrested, we immediately updated our case, being reviewed. Yeah, that means they received your biometrics, and they will make a decision on your case. Now, if you're talking about parole in place, Frank, they're not going to tell you they approved it. It'll just say it's being reviewed until the judge makes a decision. You won't get any more updates. Maria Sandoval question. My husband was approved for VAWA. We got remarried while in the process. We understand let's see, it can be revoked. I went to therapy and been a person with parole in place, helping with his residency. Well, he's got VAWA. I don't think they're going to revoke it. I think they're fine. I mean, he was the victim, period, end of story. The fact that you all went to therapy and figured it all out, I mean, congrats. That's awesome. My wife's a therapist. She'd be very, very proud of you. But I think he'll just be fine. Apply for his green card. In my case, closed. There's a way to re-up to 13 years. I wasn't well advised for. No, I mean, again, I don't know. You're sponsored by your sister. Elizabeth, I need more information. You're the kind of person who probably should call and make an appointment, honestly. And again, if you want to make an appointment, you call this number, 404-816-8611. I just need more information. It's easier to get, not on question and answer on Facebook. Okay. Waiting on EB-3 prior to, I'm a nurse. What do you think, sir? I think you're going to be just fine, and congratulations. You're going to be just fine. A couple of years, you'll have your green card. Good morning, question. Good morning, question. VAWA was approved, but we got remarried. Oh, yeah, you already asked this question. Tatiana Cruz, you're thinking parole place will happen. How long do you think we'll have to wait? Well, again, probably if the judge grants, which I think he will, the government win for the government, the Fifth Circuit will put a stay on. Then you got to go to the Supreme Court. I don't think they'll be approving any cases before the election. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think. Yes, Maria, I got that you were the abuser. It's okay. He can still get his green card. And the last, Maria, thank you. God bless. Thank you. You're great. My wife thinks I'm great. I don't know who else does. Maybe my kids. Been great being with you today. I'll be back next Wednesday at 1:00. Next Wednesday will probably be a Spanish one. But as you know, I flip back and forth between Spanish and English. Got to speak English, then you have to speak the heavenly language, Spanish. I don't know, if you're going to heaven one day, you better speak Spanish because everybody knows God speaks Spanish. Tatiana, thank you for your final comment there. So we will see you next week. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, make an appointment, call us, and we will see you then. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.